Hi there, trailer and RV owners. Today we're going to be taking a look at Voyager's 2.0 backup camera system with monitor. The system can pair up to 4 cameras, so you do have the options to upgrade it further down the line. This camera system has a 7-inch full color display and is designed to work with RVs and trailers that are pre-wired with the Voyager WI Sight technology. There are 14 infrared LEDs on the camera to help out with nighttime vision, and it has a durable metal construction to protect it against damage, and it's also waterproof. Now, this camera system does work pretty well, but you need to keep in mind that this camera system is designed to get power on the camera back there from your clearance lights. So when you turn your taillights on in your vehicle and it powers up those lights on your trailer back there, that's also what's powering the camera. Some modern vehicles are using a pulse width modulated signal on the taillight circuit to provide a dimmer light for your tail lights, so that way you have dimmer lights for tail, and when the brake gets a full on time to give it a brighter light. What happens is, by giving us that pulse width modulated signal, it's a very rapid on and off of the voltage. So we get that 12 volts and we lose it, then we get it, then we lose it. And it happens so fast that we can't see that the light is actually flickering. It appears to us that it's just dimmer than what it was before because it has a percentage of the time where it's actually not on. But again, it happens so fast your eyes can't see it. But the camera, it will know. It cannot operate if it's getting power and then it loses power. Every time it loses power, it's unable to send a signal. So that constant on and off interrupts it, and it just makes our camera not work. Now, there are adapters available that you can get here at eTrailer, so that way you can kind of store that voltage to provide it a constant 12 volts all the time, so that way it's able to operate. And it's a pretty easy inline component that you'll install, so that way you can get everything running and operating here. All right, so we've gone ahead and hooked up our trailer to our truck here. We've plugged it all in. Got our display mounted up here on the front windshield. We just use the adapters that it comes with to snap onto the back of the unit, and then the small rubber pad that sticks to our windows on there. And so now we've got it mounted up, turned on our tail lights, and we're all paired up and we can see our image. So we're just gonna do a little bit of driving around just to kind of see the image quality when we're driving. And then we're going to get this thing parked into a spot back there, and we'll use our camera to help us back it up. All right, so we're just kind of driving by our test course. We're going to stay off of the bumps portion of the course because it's just going to make it difficult to hold the camera here, but we can see as we're driving. We get a decent image quality. There is a little bit of a skip to it. It's not real bad. Kind of makes me think of like a video game where you're getting your less than 30 FPS, maybe down in like somewhere in like the 15 to 20 range. So it's not very smooth, but it's not terrible. This should definitely still work fine for being able to back up and use that for parking and whatnot. I would say with the camera, with it being a little bit slower like this in its response and kind of its shakiness, you probably still want to turn your head if you're going to be merging lanes on the highway and stuff, if you're using this to see if there's anybody around. Just because it's a little bit slower, somebody's coming up real fast, there's a chance you could see there, and due to the slight delay and lower frame rate, they could creep up on you and you might not see it in there. You can also occasionally hear here, we do get audio from our camera system as well, which is very useful. Audio will provide us just another way for us to get our trailer parked into a real tight spot. Our camera is great for helping us back up, but we can't see down the sides of our trailer, so maybe we got an assistant back there who's also kind of keeping an eye on things for us. And if you're in the truck here and you got a big long trailer like this, they're yelling, there's a good chance you're just gonna hear like a Peanuts character. It's not really gonna sound like much, just some warbles. So having a microphone on our camera will allow them to talk naturally back there, and it'll display through our screen here so we can hear what they're saying. All right, so we're getting pretty close here. We're swinging around a bunch of trailers that we've got here, and I'm just going to get it lined up with the location I want to park it, and we'll use our camera here to get it back into that spot. Just got to get it kind of swung around, get us lined up a little bit. All right, there's the spot that I want to go to, so let me just kind of get pulled up here. All right, and we plan on putting our trailer in the spot here next to the white homestead trailer. So that's kind of our end goal here. All right, and we're getting it lined up in our spot here. Might need to pull forward just a hair. Looks like that trailer's a little bit crooked and we were trying to go in straight. So we're gonna go in just a hair crooked to match it. All right, well, we were able to get it back in our spot. I will say I still had to use my mirrors quite a bit on this. Not being able to see on the sides really doesn't quite make it great for pulling into a parking spot like this. It did help me get myself lined up for the initial backup. I was able to easily turn, kind of get my trailer lined up, use this camera here to get me lined up, but then I still had to resort to the mirrors to make sure that we weren't gonna sideswipe any trailers. So it does help you out, but I would not rely on it completely. I think this is a great camera for people that might be flat towing. This is where I see this being a really nice camera system. Unfortunately, this is for your trailer, but there's probably RVs out there that are prepared for Voyager as well. And if you put this on the back of an RV, you'd be able to look at your flat tow setup as you're driving down the road. So it'd be real great for monitoring that. This also could be useful for maybe like a security system on your camper, because since this is a wireless monitor screen here, if you were parked at your campsite, you could bring your monitor inside and plug it into your camper, and you could use that to monitor what's going on around your campsite. But as far as just a backup camera for the trailer, again, it's useful, but it's not something that you can completely rely on. So we can go ahead and take a quick look here at our display and some additional features it's got, and then we're going to get unhooked from this trailer and move on to our next job. You do have some options in the menu here, so you can change your brightness up or down as necessary to get the best image quality. And you can also change the contrast, so we can bring that color up or down as necessary there. A little bit more color, a little bit less. Kind of find that sweet spot where you can see the best. Kind of change the hues a little bit there. Just some more video features that you can scroll through to kind of get the best image quality. You also have the option to flip the system. It's a little strange to me that it's an up and down flip. I guess if you have the camera mounted upside down for whatever reason or something, or your monitor was upside down for whatever reason, you can do this. More often on these cameras, you usually see the flip being more like a mirror setting, and we've got the mirror here. So this one's a little bit more useful in case you find it more natural in backing up with it like this. You got your auto power here, so it can turn itself down. Dimming, screensaver, so there's tons of stuff here that you can go through. You can do split channels, because this does work with multiple cameras that you can pair to it, and there is a trigger harness that you can purchase and plug into the back for triggering, and that's more used for the upgrades that you can use for the system. The one we installed here is just our monitor and our backup camera, but if we hit the select pair button here, the one we used to pair the camera, we can actually change it to a different channel, and you can have up to 4 channels on this. So you could potentially add side-mounted cameras, and maybe like a door camera for a security camera at your campsite, putting it out, because again, you can pull this thing out and put it in your camper and get a real good view all the way around. You can pair those additional cameras using the pair button up there. It's a similar process to how we paired this one. So if you need additional cameras, I'd check out here at eTrailer. So you can get all the cameras that you need. Again, if you're using this for backing up into tight spots, I would definitely recommend those side cameras, because without it, you have to use your mirrors. And there's just some times where you got your truck turned a certain way to get that trailer turned the way you need it, that the mirror's not going to help you on the one side. It might help you on the other, but usually you're going to have a lot of limitations, so that's where those side cameras are really beneficial. And that completes our look at Voyager's 2.0 backup camera system with monitor.